Hello everybody, welcome to the Community Shield here on the TC Hub as the two teams emerge from the tunnel here at Leicester's King Power Stadium opposite me here, and the atmosphere, let me tell you, is absolutely electric. It's a terrific occasion, the FA Cup and League Cup winners against the Premier League champions, and they're arguably the two best teams in the country, bar none. As we see a glimpse there of Harry Ireland, the second generation of Ireland family to wear the Sky Blue Manchester City shirt. The other one being his dad. A good more years ago. As we look at the panoramic views of the King Power. Terrific atmosphere. Alf-Inge Haaland, that was it. There's the presentation party. Mike Summery and Ian Rush are there too. And they're going to be introduced to all the players. Of course, the Community Shield in its 100th year now. First played for back in 1922 as it was known as the Charity Shield. And then changed its name to the Community Shield way back in 2002. There's Jordan Henderson. I've just seen Jordan Henderson there. The Liverpool captain. There's Mo Salah. Trent Alexander-Arnold going through there. It's an absolute great occasion on a weekend of real footballing dramas. Of course, the Women's Euro final take place tomorrow, of course, as Ian Rush now greets the Liverpool side. There's Andy Robertson there, shaking hands. Mike Summery shaking hands with Robertson. And Joel Matip as well. And Ruben Diaz now quickly on there. There's the Nathan Ake. That's I'm just seeing Kevin De Bruyne, and then next to him, Jack Grealish. Then the blonde ponytail figure of Erling Haaland, signed from Borussia Dortmund. Kyle Walker there, and Riyad Mahrez, who's played on this ground before for Leicester City. In fact, the presentation party, there they are. Ian Rush now just greeting Jack Grealish. Mike Summerby, who played under Joe Mercer and Malcolm Allison many, many years ago. Also a former Burnley player towards the end of his long and distinguished career in the mid-70s. Now the national anthem. And then all the action that matters. Miller Kerslake with the national anthem. And at the end of that anthem, there was pyrotechnics and all the rest. It's a terrific atmosphere here at Leicester, of course, staging the game because Wembley, of course, is being prepared for the Women's European Championship finals tomorrow. And really, that will be a real occasion. You'll be able to hear that with us on the TC Hub. But let's have a look at the two teams then, quickly before today's Community Shield. So traditionally, the 100th edition of it, as I said, first played for way back in 1922. And very strong lineups, both playing 4-3-3 this afternoon, I can tell you. And Manchester City will start off first with Edison in goal for them. And then it's a back four of Kyle Walker, Ruben Diaz, who takes over the captaincy, Nathan Ake and João Cancelo. And then a midfield three of Kevin De Bruyne, Rodri and Bernardo Silva, the Portuguese international. And then three up front, former Leicester player Riyad Mahrez, who knows every blade of this King Power Stadium so well. Erling Haaland, who makes his competitive debut for Manchester City today. And Jack Grealish, who did make his debut also in this Charity Shield match Community Shield match a year ago. And so for Liverpool, let's look at their 11, starting with Adrian as preferred to Allison in goal. Allison, in fact, not in amongst the 18 that travelled down to Leicester for this Community Shield game. He's being rested for the start of the new season, which begins, of course, in a week's time. So Adrian starts in goal. And then it's Joel Matip, Virgil van Dijk and Andy Robertson across the back. And then it's Jordan Henderson, Fabinho and Thiago in the midfield, with Mo Salah, Bobby Firmino and Luis Diaz up front. Well, the substitutes. 9 can be named, 3 can play, 6 can play. So let's run through the subs very quickly. Ortega, Phillips, Stones, Gundogan, Alvarez, Foden, Mbete, Palmer, and Wilson Esbrand are the City substitutes. Davis, Gomez, Konate, Milner, Keita, Jones, Elliott, Nunes, the new signing, replacing Sadio Mane, presumably, and Carvalho are the Liverpool substitutes. The referee today comes not too far away, in fact, about 40 odd miles down the road. Craig Pawson from Sheffield, and his 2 assistants today are Harry Leonard from Sussex, Nick Hopton from Derbyshire. 4th official today is Darren England from Sheffield, also from Sheffield, of course. That's where the great referee Keith Hackett came from. And John Brooks is from Leicestershire. He's at Stockley Park on the VAR. So Liverpool in the red shirts to get us away then in this 100th Community Shield. There's Craig Pawson, the referee from Sheffield. And we're all set to go then. The players take the knee also to embrace the message that there is no room for any sort of racism in life as well as football. And the curtain raiser to the traditional curtain raiser, although it's not really the curtain raiser these days, because Burnley and Huddersfield really actually kicked off the season in the EFL yesterday. They get us away now with Liverpool taking the goal to my left. In red shirts, City, of course, in the sky blue shirts, so you can it's easy for us commentators to distinct one from the other. Fabinho gets it on the halfway line, sticks it down the right-hand side where Mo Salah is getting there behind the defender, which was João Cancelo. Early shot coming in there from Thiago, which was blocked. And then the ball knocked forward. And Haaland on the chase, but Matip quite happy to let that one go out of play deep inside his own half, and it will be a Liverpool throw. And both teams attacking the ends where their opposition supporters are. Liverpool attacking the Manchester City end away to my left. And Manchester City attacking the Liverpool end, populated by Liverpool supporters, of course, away to my right. Matip back to Adrian, former West Ham goalkeeper, of course. And already a little spot of bother there for the standing goalkeeper. Well, he's not going to get much game time, really. Probably in the Cups this season, considering that Alisson will be the number 1 for the upcoming Premier League season, which, as I say, kicks off next weekend. And of course, we'll have that first game for you from the Premier League. Crystal Palace against Arsenal on the TC Hub. Rodrigo is the shirt number on the back of his wasn't wears on the back of his shirt, but Rodri we've got on the team sheet. Anyway, here's Walker back to Aki, Diaz shoots it forward. And now the ball's been lost, and Salah can break down the right-hand side. Firmino's close at hand with him. He'll take on Nathan Aki here down the right-hand side. Also, Cancelo's got back there. The ball played in there into the path there of Luis Diaz, who got the shot in, and it was charged away. It has gone out for a throw to Liverpool with 2 minutes and 2.25 minutes gone here in this Community Shield game. As Salah made a good breakdown there. Ball played in. Came to Diaz here, and a good block, incidentally, there by Ruben Diaz. Throw in line with the edge of the area. Not forward again. A bit backwards, really, from Liverpool. Robertson trying to keep it in, but he couldn't succeed in doing so. City get a throw. Walker's trying to nick a few yards there. And the Liverpool fans trying to point that out to the referee, Craig Pawson, but Craig Pawson was quite happy to that to be the case, and the ball not forward again, and off goes Salah again. He's off again here. He's done some terrific running in his opening 3 minutes. Down that right-hand channel. Salah into the area. Salah shoots. He's signed that in. What a great opportunity that was for Liverpool. Salah cuts it again from the right. A lot of responsibility will be on his shoulders to get the goals. The flag stayed down. There was no offside. He was quite clearly on as the ball was played over to him. Cuts inside there, and then with the left foot, just hits the right-hand side netted. But a good start for Liverpool. And Manchester City just a little bit timid in this opening 3.5 to 4 minutes. As De Bruyne takes possession at halfway. Haaland trying to feed the ball through to Haaland and made a good run. And then De Bruyne is bundled down almost midway inside the Liverpool half. And it's a free kick to Manchester City. Thiago, the offender, banged to rights by the referee today. So a free kick then to Manchester City as we approach 4 minutes gone on all TCL platforms. Delayed commentary of this 2022 FA Community Shield, sponsored, of course, by McDonald's. As the ball is played in there, and just too much on the, just too much purpose rather on the ball in there by De Bruyne, and a goal kick to Liverpool. Salah just getting a few instructions there from Jurgen Klopp as Liverpool play out from the back. Here's Robertson now on the left-hand side, blocked by Riyad Mahrez, number 26. Of course, this stream, this delayed audio stream, sponsored, of course, by the Melon Streaming app. Check out their website at www.melonstreamingapp.com if you want to check that out. It's Kevin De Bruyne now for Manchester City, trying to play that forward. Robertson loses that. Firmino is there too. Firmino gets the ball forward. And a little battle royale on that near side. And Firmino rather wins the free kick there off Mr. Paulson, the referee. Bit of a tussle there with Rodri in the centre as Salah went darting in there. And in the end, Chancellor got back. Ball hit off Alexander-Arnold and out for a throw to Manchester City, as it turns out, with 5 minutes gone in this Community Shield match. And you'll be able to hear the late commentary, not just on the TC Hub itself, but on JB Sports, JDAT Football, Storm FM, and TC Hub 2, as well as Twitch. And those are our participating TC Hub platforms for this season. So if you are a subscriber to any of those YouTube channels, TC Hub, JB Sports, TC Hub 2 and Storm FM, you'll be able to receive delayed commentary of this Community Shield match. And for all our matches covered on the TC Hub with our with the best commentary team, alternate commentary team in the business. 0-0 here at the King Power in this 100th Community Shield as Salah takes possession, having plenty to say for himself in this opening exchanges. Plays the ball out to Fabinho. And then he's asked a bit of Robertson here. Now Thiago has it. Thiago now switches to play. Now Trent Alexander-Arnold. The names and numbers on the back there are so difficult to identify. So if I get one or two of the players wrong, it's A, the numbering on the back of both sets of players' shirts. And secondly, I have not done a commentary for at least 2 months, not since the end of May. So apologies if I'm ring rusty this afternoon. But it's Bernardo there playing chicken on the edge of his own area and almost gifted Salah a free shot at Edison's goal. And there was almost an illustration in what I saw there in basically the dangers of trying to play with football from the back. Pep Guardiola is walking towards his bench in a complete huff and puff. He can't believe that. And that could have been a catastrophe really for Manchester City. I was going to say a catastrophe start. I don't think there's such a word. But anyway, still 0-0 as the ball is not forward. And here's a chance now for De Bruyne inside the area. De Bruyne shoots and it's hit the left-hand side netting and behind for a Liverpool goal kick. But both teams have had sightings in the opening 8 minutes as we approach the 8th minute mark. And one gets the feeling at this early stage of this Community Shield game that we're not going to see one of those dour games. In fact, it gets a deflection. It will be a corner to Manchester City rather than a corner goal kick. And the aforementioned Kevin De Bruyne will take it now from the far side. Referee just watching for a bit of pushing and shoving. Of course, the linesman on that near side, Nick Upton, will have to keep a close eye on things as the ball threaded in from the corner. It was a short corner. Up went the heads, and one of them was Nathan Aki, who got in there, and any better contact in this? It was on around about the 6-yard area as he came leaped up. I think maybe the presence of Virgil van Dijk or leaping above him maybe just put him off a tad, and that's why he miscued the header, which went harmlessly wide of Adrian's right-hand post. Still 0-0 here on the TC Hub. Coming up towards the 9th minute here across all TC Hub platforms. Delayed commentary of the 2022 Community Shield, the 100th in all excluding the war, of course, as the ball chipped forward again towards Firmino. Firmino now trying to get the ball forward. Can't thread the ball through. So Firmino will have a second opportunity. Firmino will turn. Uses Fabinho. Good fluency to Liverpool's play here. Both teams, I do really believe from what we've seen in the first 9.25 minutes of this first half, I think there's going to be an open field to the game here. Ball not forward again. Here's Mo Salah again. Having plenty to say for himself in the opening exchanges. Asking a lot of Andy Robertson, mind you. Gets the crossing well. There's the ball in, and it's turned away by the City defence inside the penalty area. De Bruyne now back inside. And now a chance here for Mahrez to start motoring. And now Haaland on his City debut switches the play beautifully to Jack Grealish. Now then, if he can show real glimpses of form here in the first part of the season for Manchester City, there's so many good England players out there on view, the likes of Henderson, Grealish, and a few others. Kyle Walker, of course, who will be looking to get in Gareth Southgate's World Cup squad for the tournament in Qatar towards the back end of the calendar year. And why not Nathan Ake as well? Well, let's see how good a game everyone has here today. Of course, it's the traditional curtain raiser to the new season, but the EFL sort of beat them to it. The actual curtain raiser to the domestic season was last night at as I said, at the John Smith Stadium where Vincent Kompany Burnley, as Kyle Walker's flagged offside there on the near side. It's Vincent Kompany's Burnley, terrifically outplayed Huddersfield, winning 1-0, but it could have been more than that, in all honesty, as we just see a replay of Walker straying about 3 yards offside, as it turned out. So a go to a free kick to Liverpool then, as we head towards the 11th minute of the first half here on all TCL platforms. Still a very good game of football here, and well, we endeavour to see what will happen here throughout the 90 minutes. Just to remind you of the rules, there is no extra time here today at Wembley. We will go straight to penalties if it's a draw after 90 minutes. So let me just reiterate that. If it's a level after 90 minutes, it will be a penalty shootout as Robertson fails to keep the ball in play, and it will be a Manchester City throw, almost level with the edge of the 18-yard box of Liverpool. So still 0-0 between last season's Premier League champions and League and FA Cup winners in Liverpool. And it's been a good watch so far, in all honesty. And I don't think it's going to be 0-0 for too long. That looked like hands there, certainly against Manchester City. And a free kick has been quite rightly awarded by referee Pawson. They did look at clear handball there, as we look at Darwin Núñez, the new Liverpool player who's obviously been bought to replace Sadio Mane, who's left for Bayern Munich. There he is now. I'm just seeing him on the bench. Looks a very good prospect, I have to say. Jurgen Klopp has been very, very coy in the transfer market since he's become Liverpool manager for the last 6 or 7 years. So he's certainly got a wee bit about him as the free kick comes into the penalty area, headed half away. Firmino on the turn, back to Alexander-Arnold on the right-hand side, infield to Firmino, back to Thiago. Thiago now finds Firmino. Just opens. Good football again from Liverpool. Keeper possession so beautifully and so gracefully, really. And then Robertson gets into a bit of a tangle, and now De Bruyne now could bring it away on halfway. But then Henderson stops him, and in fact, a Liverpool free kick. Referee stops him from taking it quickly. Don't like it when referees try to do that. I think that was a little bit overzealous from the Sheffield official. Nevertheless, Liverpool have possession now from the free kick. It was taken short, as it turned out, but going forwards, they've gone backwards. Virgil van Dijk chipping it now towards Robertson, and he'll get there, Robertson. The ball came to him rather fortuitously. Luis Diaz now to Thiago. Thiago now chips it out towards the far side, and it's that man again. Mo Salah, he'll run at Grealish. Knocks it back into the path of Alexander-Arnold, who chips the ball into the penalty area. Robertson arriving at the left-hand post, the back post. and nods it into the side netting for a Manchester City goal kick. But there's chances galore here in this opening 13, 14 minutes of this Community Shield match. And there's Trent Alexander-Arnold with one of his famed good crosses, but maybe the acute angleness of the header there was always going to be against Andy Robertson there. And I think Ederson would have had that his near post covered, the left-hand post. Would have had it covered. As Mahrez now takes it on the left-hand side, right-hand side. That's a foul. Looked a soft one from where I was sitting, but it is a Manchester City free kick. 14 and a half minutes almost played. Thiago furious with the referee there. Who, me? Anyway, we're back underway, and it's City again with Jack Grealish. Grealish running at defenders, including Trent Alexander-Arnold. And again, it's patient football again. Ruben Diaz, rather. Not Luis Diaz, Ruben Diaz. Now, ball not forward once again. Can they get Grealish on the ball? Might get it on the ball here. Matip, the defender in front of him. On the left-hand side, Jack Grealish now plays it back. Rodri in space. Kyle Walker has gone up from the back, and he's gone a bit more central. Here's Mahrez, who should know every blade of grass at this King Power Stadium. Played in that championship winning squad for Leicester way back in 2016. Knows what it's all about. Kyle Walker now for Manchester City. And now Nathan Ake. Good ball, that is. Into the path of Cancelo. Cancelo turns nicely. Good ball in there. And Erling Haaland had made a good break inside that penalty area. And if it had reached Erling Haaland, it would have been glory time possibly there for Manchester City. But still, the Premier League champions come buzzing forward again. And it's Cancelo once more to De Bruyne. De Bruyne now. And I'm just looking at Erling Haaland now, looking to stay on side at every considerable opportunity. Of course, we've got VAR in operation. And at the moment, City have just slowed the pace a bit down. But it's a terrific watch so far. Good entertainment. Terrific endeavour from both sides here in this 100th Community Shields, of course, sponsored by McDonald's. As Walker now comes back. And Mahrez now into Rodri. Rodri now on again to Diaz. Back to Rodri once more. And a terrific first 16 and a half minutes so far. And I've no doubt there's plenty more still to come as the ball is spread eagle towards Cancelo, but he can't keep it in play on the far side. And it will be a throw-in. As we look at Pep Guardiola, the Manchester City coach, or the Manchester City manager. Won 4 out of the last 5 Premier League titles that have been played for in the last 5 years. Of course, the only one he didn't win was in 2020 when Liverpool won the title. Liverpool having a terrific season. Came within 2 games of winning the quadruple. And they lost out in the league by a point. Having already won the League Cup and the FA Cup. And then they got to the Champions League final, which you heard with us on the TC Hub and all the platforms that night. I was there at Fiasco in Paris. And of course, coming the wrong side of a goal on the hour mark by Vinicius Junior, which won Real Madrid their 13th European Cup. But despite all that, they had a civic reception and had a terrific and got a great ovation from their fans. Now trying to win their 3rd trophy of the calendar year if they can pull off the Community Shield this afternoon. But at the moment, it's Manchester City in possession with Kyle Walker. You haven't really missed anything. That's why we were talking about Liverpool just coming up short in their quadruple bid the last term. Well, pace just slowing down a tad after an air of scare in the first quarter of an hour, which was to and fro from one end to the other. The play is just settling down into a slow kind of pattern. And I think the tempo had to drop somewhat. It is still the middle of summer, despite it being a lot cooler than it has been. A couple of weeks ago, we had that 40-degree heat. Tell you what, if they played then, I think we'd have had drinks breaks every 2 or 3 minutes. That's for sure, not exaggerating the truth. 40 degrees Celsius it was the other week. Goodness knows how much Fahrenheit that was. Anyway, the throw taken quickly here, and it's Henderson with the cross in there, and it nearly came to Ruben Diaz. It was fisted away inside the area by Ederson. Now Diaz again, edge of the penalty area. Here's Alexander-Arnold trying to touch the ball back, or rather Salah trying to touch the ball back, I should say. Diaz really battling for that, and then Fabinho has a go. Diaz has had a go, but the referee has spotted a foul by Fabinho, the free kick to Manchester City as we hit the 19th minute mark of the Community Shield. As we see a replay, ball played in, and it was a good fist away there by Ederson. Watched it all the way. There was a slight deflection. He didn't fist it, actually. He palmed it away rather than fisted it. The Manchester City goalkeeper. Brazilian international, of course, by some repute. Battling with Alisson for that number 1 spot. Of course, that's going to be one of the issues, of course. And, of course, Brazil should be one of the favourites to win the World Cup, actually, when the tournament takes place in Qatar in just over 3 months' time. Here's Henderson now chipping it forward, looking towards Diaz. Diaz now turning nicely, but the ball is knocked out of play by Kyle Walker, who tackled very, very well on him. Here's Thiago. 20 minutes gone then on the TCL and all platforms. Delayed commentary of this Community Shield match. Full delayed commentary. Here's Matip. Out to Alexander-Arnold on the right-hand side. Infield to Salah, who's just taken up a more central position. Back to Alexander-Arnold, chipping it in there towards the near side, I should say. Ruben Diaz took it nicely on the chest. Plays the ball back. Thiago chips it in. Salah there on the far side. Inside the area. Alexander-Arnold with a shot. Deflected it in off the post. Liverpool, after 21 minutes, have taken the lead. And it's Trent Alexander-Arnold, the right back with a right-footed shot. He may have got a slight deflection. It hit the left-hand post. And it went like a rocket into the net. It's Liverpool, the FA Cup and Carabao Cup holders, who lead the Premier League holders by a goal to nil after 21 minutes of the 100th Community Shield. And again, you've got to say, wonderful build-up play from Liverpool. Ruben Diaz has it there. Then it's chipped in there by Thiago, or Luis Diaz, I should say. Then the ball back from Salah into the path of Alexander-Arnold, and that magical right foot, and from outside the box, it did the rest. Now, did it get a deflection here? Just seeing it from the reverse angle. Did it deflect off a defender? Might have just cannoned in off the forehead of Nathan Ake. But I'm sure that was a goal from Alexander-Arnold. I think it was on target, and I think you've got to you've got to give it to Alexander-Arnold. He will claim that, despite the deflection off Nathan Ake. So Liverpool in the lead, and Pep Guardiola stroking his chin and pondering what has just befallen Manchester City there, as the Liverpool fans can sing now the fields of Anfield and all that jazz. Terrific finish by Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, I'm just wondering if that has gone to VAR. I think they're just checking it. Yeah, the goal is quite rightly standing, I think. There was a bit of a delay before the kickoff. I wonder if the referee, the VAR official, no, they hadn't. So the goal is perfectly fine. And Liverpool are in the lead with 21 minutes played, but have conceded a free kick. So, well, that's certainly one for the dubious goals committee. Was it a Nathan Ake own goal? Was it going in? That's the first question. Certainly came off Ake, but I think you've got to give it Alexander-Arnold. I'm not sure that Nathan Ake would want to claim an own goal in the month of Sundays. I don't think that would be. I don't think that would be the right and proper thing. But there we go. Here's Grealish down on the right left-hand side. He does roll against Alexander-Arnold as he ran out of pitch. Oh, that was a tasty ball. Howland was shaping up to sort of scissor kick that inside the penalty area. I tell you what, if he'd caught that well, we might have been talking about the goal of the season, and we haven't even started the season. Anyway, here's Luis Diaz at the other end, trying to feed Firmino, but he can't be found. And Diaz, Ruben Diaz, that is, gets the ball back to his goalkeeper, Ederson. Grealish's flick, but it's out of play on the far side. It will be a throw for Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp, according to the way his team have performed. Haaland really hasn't had too much of a kick so far, as we have now hit the 24th minute mark. So we're way past the halfway mark of the first half here in the Community Shield here at Leicester, the KP Stadium. Here's Mahrez. Here's a chance with De Bruyne. De Bruyne, the angle was tied and he's hit the right-hand side netting, and it will be a Liverpool goal kick. Just the angle may have just died on him as he shot right-footed inside the penalty box. Mahrez is ball in, took it down nice on the chest, and maybe that first touch from the right foot of De Bruyne may have just tightened the angle there. And again, I don't think Adrian would have been beaten at his near right-hand post. I don't think that would have been the case in point at all. So it remains 1-0. Here's Henderson. Henderson now has got Luis Diaz in the centre. Now Firmino on the edge. It's Firmino trying to get it onto his left foot, and he gets it onto his left foot, but sort of slices the shot wide of the left-hand post, and it's a goal kick for Manchester City. But good break there from Jordan Henderson. There's Diaz. And as I say, tried to get it onto his left foot. Maybe should have tried to take that first time on the right, maybe Roberto Firmino or Bobby Firmino. He's predominantly a left footer. As the ball is swept out to the right-hand side. Here's Walker. Flick on there by De Bruyne. Halfway line, Mahrez takes the ball. And he's gone into the Liverpool half. Frees Grealish is on the left-hand side. Now he'll take on Fabinho. Cuts inside. But then tries to dart out back to the left. But he's been shadowed out by red shirts. And at the moment, Liverpool certainly winning the tactical battles. The ball knocked forward here towards Luis Diaz. And he's juggling, doing a little bit of ball juggling. And now coming forward about 10 yards. Finds Robertson on the left, deep inside City territory. Here's Thiago, back to Robertson. Robertson again. And at the moment, Liverpool playing some irresistible stuff. Trent Alexander-Arnold's goal, the difference between the two sides here on the TCM and all platforms. Henderson just slipping there, but he kept control of the ball. Finds Mo Salah. Again, just teases Jack Grealish and then just plays a nonchalant ball back now to Matip, and in turn onto Virgil van Dijk. Van Dijk hits it over the halfway line. Again, picking up Salah, but the ball has not been kept in by the Egyptian king, and a free kick it is to Manchester City. In fact, it was offside, as it turned out, and Manchester City in possession again. So in the 27th minute of the match, it's 1-0 to Liverpool. As I say, Trent Alexander-Arnold the scorer. Did get a deflection off the forehead of Nathan Ake. This game being brought to you delayed on the TCM, TCM2, JB Sports, JDAT Football, and Twitch. Here's the ball over the top by Walker as Mahrez kept that in. Yes, he has. Good ball now. Now then, De Bruyne cuts the ball back, and I try to look for Grealish. Haaland had made a run towards the 6-yard box as well. And in the end, De Bruyne couldn't weave his normal Belgian magic to pick up A, either Jack Grealish, or B, Erling Haaland. A concerned look on Pep Guardiola's face. Now, a lot of outsiders would say this is a glorified curtain raiser of a friendly. There's been no friendliness about this game. It's been highly competitive in every sense of the word, and it's an illustration of how both teams are really taking the match so seriously here. Look at Alvarez, their new signing. And I think he'll be just as good as well. Julian Alvarez, to give him his full name, number 19. And he'll come on and make a difference potentially later on in the piece. We'll have to wait and see. The ball not forward by Van Dijk. And header back by Ruben Diaz to Ederson, who didn't have a prayer with the goal scored by Trent Alexander-Arnold. It really gives new impotence to Liverpool here. Gives them that shot in the arm. It's been one of the more entertaining Community Shields I've seen in quite a while. I thought the one at Wembley last year was a decent watch. Of course, Leicester winning it by a goal to nil. Kyle Walker comes forward. Oh, he did well there. Shook off two opponents on halfway, and he's going forward now, trying to take on the brilliant Virgil van Dijk. Still, Kyle Walker did well there. But then Mars is stuffed out there, and it's advantage now for Liverpool as Firmino is tagged to the ground. That's a free kick to Liverpool. Rodri, give me short today, was the guilty party. People are going to call this Community Shield match a friendly. I think they'd better rephrase their chain of thinking, because this is a proper competitive game. And when there's a trophy at stake for one of these two sides, boy, are they competitive as Alexander-Arnold comes forward, but out comes Edison to the left of his area, inside the area, takes the ball and releases a little bit of tension there for Manchester City as we're prepared to hit the half-hour gone mark here in this first half, and we'll be at the final quarter of an hour. So half an hour gone, quarter of an hour left to play in this first half. Liverpool leading by 1-0. Scorer Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's been a game really with non-stop attacking thrills. City have had chances themselves. Roy has been involved in a few good things at the hub of what Manchester City have attempted to do in terms of attack. This is Kyle Walker in possession now as the blue half from the Mancunians come forward once again. Manchester City with so much success, mainly in the league and the League Cup over the last few years, but have never really made too much impression in the Champions League, that's for sure. Here's a chance now for City. Shot comes in. It's a great save by Adrian to deny. I think it was Riyad Mahrez a chance at goal. Flag stayed down. Let's have a look whether he was onside or not. Oh, he might have been close to being off, actually. Might have been close to being off. I mean, tell you what, that would have been an interesting one for the VAR people, John Brooks of Leicestershire, to work out whether that was offside. It looked offside for where I was sitting, I must say. Substitutes now warming up. Liverpool substitutions, that is. We'll now have it with Adrian, the former West Ham goalkeeper. What a lovely first half this has been. Enjoyable from the first whistle onwards. It's been very highly entertaining and highly competitive. So anyone that says the Charity Shield or the Community Shield is a glorified friendly, next time you see them, tell them to watch this match and tell them to think again. I think Nick Hopton has put his flag up on that far side. I think it's a free kick to Manchester City, or was it down there? I think it's for offside. It's a Liverpool free kick. I think City are a bit bemused by that, but Nick Hopton did have his flag up very, very, very quickly. One has to tell. All things considered, I think Jurgen Klopp will be certainly the happier of the two managers at half time. Should it stay the same? Of course, the EFL starts this weekend. Of course, Burnley winning last night against Huddersfield. It could have been more than the one. And Matheson with the goal, which really did matter. You pardon the pun. Ball not forward again. Oh, I just thought for a moment Luis Diaz had got him behind there, but he didn't. And here's Cancelo now trying to lead a Manchester City attack. And it's 3 against 2 in Manchester City's favour if it can get it out to Haaland. His first touch was heavy. Haaland shoots. Oh, he's hit it straight at the goalkeeper. It was a left-footed drive. And that's the first real opportunity that Erling Haaland has had in a Manchester City shirt. But Adrian was equal to it. City out finished yet. Cancelo gets it on the far side. Chips it in there towards Haaland again. And he couldn't get a purchase. And then Mahrez's header from an acute angle was straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. But Erling Haaland, in the space of 30 seconds, had 2 good opportunities, and they were like London buses. You wait about half an hour for one, and then two of them come along at once. This is the first opportunity I'm seeing here. Gets it on the left foot, bit fortuitous there as the ball ricochets with Robertson, and then the second one, seconds later, comes in there. Maybe should have gone with the head rather than the left foot, perhaps. As we go into the final 11 minutes of the first half, plus any injury or stoppage time to add on. I don't think we've had too much in the way of stoppages anyway. As the that was a risky header back from Nathan Aki, considering that Luis Diaz was on the scene, but he got it back okay to his goalkeeper Edison. Still 1-0 to Liverpool. This 2022 FA Community Shield, sponsored by McDonald's. Delayed commentary of this game on the TCM. TCM 2, JB Sports, JDAT Football, and Storm FM, as well as Twitch. And of course, for all commentaries, live or delayed on the TCM this season, we will be choosing a player of the match, sponsored by Barry Sway's Commentary Services, as Chancellor now tries to weave his magic once more. Picks out Grealish. Now, can he run it Alexander-Arnold? It's infield to De Bruyne, trying to play the ball or thread the ball through the eye of the needle to Haaland, but can't be found. And he said Halvinga, and that's his dad. Erling Haaland. Second generation of the Haaland family to wear Manchester City shirt. After his dad, of course. Still 1-0 as we go into the closing stages now. Well inside the final 10 minutes. And what's been a highly competitive first game of the season for both sides. This is the first competitive game. Of course, the league's programme starts for them two next week, I should say. Next week. Anyway, throw taken quickly. Salah's cross looking towards Luis Diaz, but it's out of play. Will be a throw. Of course, the takings from this game go towards communities and charities. Of course, the Alzheimer's Society is always one that benefits from these sort of matches each year. Of course, there's a lot of debate whether heading should be banded back for the younger generation games. The kids' games now that the FA are looking at banning heading certainly for the under 12s stable of football. There's a lot of ex-footballers who heading the ball have suffered a lot from dementia, and it was sad to see. Jeff Astor was one of those people, and sadly that he died pretty young in life. For him, he was only about 60 when he died all those years ago, the former West Brom striker. She has always done a moving documentary on the subject with and there's a great campaign with Jeff Astor's daughter Dawn and how to do it and how they could cure dementia. As the ball was played in there by Cancelo in towards the path of Erling Haaland, but he couldn't be found, and it's out of play for a throw. So 37 minutes gone in this Community Shield game. Alternate delay commentary on all TCM platforms. 4 YouTube channels and 5 YouTube channels plus Periscope, not Periscope, plus Twitch. If you're a subscriber to any of these channels, TCM2, JB Sports, JDAT Football, and Storm FM, you are listening to delayed commentary of the traditional curtain raiser of the season. As City go forward, 1-0 down. Here's Mahrez inside the area. Mahrez shoots, hits Andy Robertson, his opposite number, if you like, because it was 26 off 26. Here's Walker, rather, to De Bruyne. De Bruyne now chips it into the penalty area, but it's missed everybody, including Erling Haaland, and it's out for a throw to Liverpool. So 38 minutes gone. And listening, as I said, to live commentary, or to delayed full commentary with me, JB, John Stottard, of this game, the FA Community Shield, sponsored, of course, by McDonald's. We've been sponsored under the Community Shield for going along now 20 years. I'm a very great supporter of the McDonald's. And terrific long-term supporter of this particular game that benefits so many deprived communities and charities, and gives good needed funds to them. Here's Mahrez. Mahrez shoots and it's straight at the arms of the goalkeeper as we hit the 39th minute here at the King Power. Well, it's been a good first half so far. Been very entertaining, very enjoyable. There's the left-footed effort by Mahrez, straight in the midriff with the goalkeeper. Held it well. And so far, so good. I say terrific entertainment for 39 minutes. It's quite the first half performance. Bernardo Silva on the ball now, gets it out to Cancelo. Back to Bernardo Silva, the Portuguese international. Now Nathan Ake. Ake to Ruben Dias, the Manchester City captain. Well, it'll be either him or Jordan Henderson that will be lifting the beautiful shield at the end of the day. As I said, if you weren't with us earlier, just to remind you of the match rules. 9 substitutes named, 6 can play. And we'll run you through the subs at the start of the second half once again. I'm pointing, telling you now. And as regards the timing of the games, if it's level after 90 minutes, we will not, repeat, not have extra time. We will have, instead, go straight to a penalty shootout. Here's Grealish trying to bring City level. Haaland's first touch, though, was very hairy. It let him down a bit. Here's Mahrez now. Mahrez towards the edge of the area. Mahrez now looking to shoot. He goes down. He went down in installments, quite frankly. And I don't think Craig Pawson, quite rightly in a month of Sundays, was going to give a penalty for that. We'll be checking it, of course, on the VAR, but I don't think it would be necessary to even consider a penalty. I think he just ran into Thiago, if I'm being perfectly honest, and he looked to me as if he was looking for that, the Algerian, but it definitely was not a penalty. 4 minutes to half time, plus any stoppage or injury time. And Trent Alexander-Arnold is down in a bit of a crumpled heap on the far side. Henderson having a few strong words to the referee. And fourth official down in England getting a cup in here from Jurgen Klopp. I'm hoping for the fourth official's sake it's not an X-rated view of it from Jurgen Klopp. This is what happened. It was Cancelo going in hard. Yeah, it was a bit of a naughty one there by Cancelo. The ball had gone, and he did take out Alexander-Arnold, in fairness, and I think Jurgen Klopp may have just had a point. I'll have to say the referee so far today has kept in tune with the pace of the game and has made, in his decision making, has got some of the big decisions more often than not quite correct. So 4 marks to Craig Pawson so far, having a good Community Shield game. And if everyone's wondering why it's not at Wembley, and the answer is simple. Tomorrow it's the Women's Euro 2022 final at Wembley Stadium. That's why Wembley is not being used this year. In fact, it's the first Community Shield for 10 years that isn't being played at Wembley. The last time was 10 years ago, almost to the day. Villa Park was the venue. Manchester City and Chelsea played out 3. Manchester City won that day by 3-2. In a very, very competitive game that day as well. 5-goal thriller. Are we going to see something a bit similar today? So far, we've only had the 1 goal, but we've seen plenty of throws and spells in the 43 minutes almost that we've been playing. And we're about to hit that now, so we've got 2 minutes of normal time to go at the end of the first half. And it's Jack Grealish now running it. Jordan Henderson and tries to play the ball in there. The ball nearly fell for Erling Haaland on the edge of the box, but Liverpool get it away. And here's Mo Salah now. The only Diaz is up ahead of him. Salah will try and take on Cancelo, and he's beating him for pace. So too he has Bernardo. But the Egyptian keeper ran out of room, but he has won his team a throw. As we approach the last 90 seconds of normal time here. In fact, it's a throw. It went the other way to Manchester City. Trent Alexander-Arnold with the goal. And got a deflection of Nathan Ake in. That's the goal that's separating the 2 sides at the moment. It's a ball spread it out to the far side. Bernardo Silva takes position, 10 yards from halfway. Inside his own half. Morris chips it over the halfway line. Looks to Kyle Walker. Finds Kyle Walker. Takes it down nicely. It kills the ball nicely with the right foot, but has to go backwards. Liverpool have retreated in numbers. Here's Cancelo again. Can he dig out across here towards Mahrez? Well, couldn't be found. It will be a quarter though to Manchester City as we go into the last 45 seconds of normal time at the end of what's been a highly competitive first half here at the King Power Stadium. Mahrez to take the corner. Haaland is inside the 6-yard area. It's like a praying mantis really on the edge of that 6-yard area. Bit of a crowd scene for Adrian as the corner comes in from the right-hand side, but it's headed away rather comfortably by the Liverpool defence. It was Bobby Firmino who got the header in and helping out at the back. 10 seconds of normal time to play, plus any injury or stoppage time. Get an indication from the fourth official how long there is to be. Ball chip forward again by Mahrez, who gets the shot from crossing, and it's taken inside the area by Adrian, and on cue, fourth official Darren England signals there'll be 2 added minutes at the end of the first half. And quite frankly, even though I don't think there was 2 minutes of stoppages, so it's not a bad thing because it keeps the game going for another couple of minutes and keeps the entertainment flowing for the supporters. So that's what you want to see in a showpiece game, even if it isn't at Wembley today. Still a showpiece game. Grealish is fouled. Free kick to Manchester City. And again, the referee, I think he'd do well there not to start booking players at this point because it is a showpiece occasion. But there's also a responsibility on these events, really, for the referee just to be maybe on the essence of discreetness and caution, rather than just dish out cards willy-nilly every 5 seconds, because it wouldn't help the flow of the game for one, and it would destroy the spectacle as a showpiece occasion. So many games, so many finals and curtain raisers have been spoilt by needless red cards from referees in recent years, which cannot be good for the game. Anyway, here come Liverpool now. They've got Thiago on the ball. Now here's Salah into the area. Salah now with a cross, and it's well plucked out the air as that cross came in towards the penalty area. Luis Diaz was working, and the ball's been lost by De Bruyne, and that's an uncharacteristic error from him of all people. And Liverpool here now have a chance now just to see out, maybe just to get a half time. 15 seconds of the 2 added, and then it'll be at Mr. Porter's discretion, the referee from Sheffield. Here's Virgil van Dijk coming forward from halfway. Infield to Fabinho. Now Robertson, and a free kick has been given to Manchester City. We have played the 2 minutes. In fact, the referee said there'll be no more. So a good first half for Liverpool, leading through Trent Alexander-Arnold's goal around about the midway point of the first half, which gives Liverpool a commanding lead in the 100th Community Shield. Half-time then, here at Leicester. Trent Alexander-Arnold's goal after 21 minutes, defining the two teams. It's Liverpool 1, Manchester City 0. Welcome back to the start of the second half then at the King Power Stadium at Leicester. I nearly said Wembley, but it is at Leicester as I think both teams are unchanged from the first half. So it's going to be Manchester City to get us underway, taking the goal to my left where all their supporters are based, and then it's Liverpool leading 1-0. Alexander-Arnold's goal, 21 minutes to go was timed at. As referee Craig Paulson from Sheffield gets us restarted then. No changes from either side. And off we go then. Liverpool and leading Manchester City. As I say, Trent Alexander-Arnold's goal, 21 minutes as we are now 15 seconds into the second half. Aaron with a little header on, and it's going to be Ruben Diaz to Luis Diaz to get the ball back away once more. So plenty for Manchester City to do. I've just listened during the halftime chat there in the television punditry, and Roy King just being a little bit critical of Jack Grealish's play in the first half. Maybe he's been a bit too, shall we say, cautious or maybe pedestrian. To put a nice word on it. Now then, Grealish opportunity now down the right-hand side. See what Grealish can do now. City attack the end to my left-hand side where all their supporters are situated behind. Ball knocked back to Nathan Ake. Remember, if it ends a draw, we go to a penalty shootout. Now then, a chance here now inside the area. Good shot by Mahrez and a good save from Adrian. They could have easily had 2 or 3 goals themselves, City, today. But Adrian has kept them out at every conceivable opportunity. And the ball out of play for a throw. But a lovely bit of play this from Manchester City. Chip forward, no offside here. Morris took him down nicely on the chest. Maybe just scuffed the shot there a little bit with his left foot. Just scuffed it into the floor. And bounced quite favourably for the goalkeeper to parry and make the save. And he did quite well, it must be said. As the ball's just been kept in by City. Cancelo doing a good job there. Now the ball being switched now as Diaz plays it infield to Rodri. Rodri has to go back to Nathan Ake. And Ake again. Ake just quite happy to get it back to where they said it was the first choice goalkeeper, of course. Need I tell you. At Manchester City these days. There's a tremendous atmosphere building here at the King Power Stadium. Good atmosphere now. The ball hooked in there towards De Bruyne, but he couldn't be found. And here's Henderson now, the Liverpool captain. Plays it to Andy Robertson, the Scot. Now then, a chance here. Real opportunity now for Diaz to get on his bike. Diaz has to turn back, mind you. And turn back again, and then he was brought down. Free kick to Liverpool. Good football up from Luis Diaz. Knew that the situation was there, but kept hold of possession just long enough for one of the City players, Riyad Mahrez, to size him down and, in fact, win the free kick. Guardiola looks on. And there's the distinctive Jurgen Klopp in the baseball cap and the tracksuit top. Andy Robertson will take the free kick then from the far side this time. Him and Trent Alexander-Arnold, the two-man committee. Will it be the right foot of Alexander-Arnold or the left of Robertson? Let's see. Pulling 1-0. Trent Alexander-Arnold's deflected strike after 21 minutes. The difference. It's going to be Robertson with the left foot into the penalty area. A little bit deep, baby, and missed everybody. Kept in by Salah on the right-hand side. Salah with the cross into the penalty area. Headed only half away. City should clear the danger comfortably and do, but only as far as Henderson. They will regard into the penalty area. City know it's coming back at them now. Here's Diaz now tangling on the far side, and he's bundled his man to the floor. Free kick. It is to Manchester City. Referee Craig Pawson having a good first half, certainly. Yeah, hopefully he'll have a wee bit of the second half as well. It's been a good open contest. Played in a very good spirit. Not one yellow card yet, and that's a real credit to the referee who's tried to let the game go. Not a good kick away, though, from Edison, and out of play, still deep inside City territory. And this gives Liverpool a real opportunity now to try and take advantage with this sixth throw in, which is almost level with the 18-yard box of Manchester City. In front of the Liverpool fans away to my right. Ball locked in there by Alexander-Arnold along the deck. Ball lost again. Possession changing hands a few times there as it comes to Mo Salah on the right-hand side. Plays back to Henderson. Now Alexander-Arnold switches the play beautifully over to the far side, but then Robertson knew he couldn't take it down. Maybe it was a little bit too high as Alexander-Arnold attempted to play the ball across. And alas, didn't come to anything. As City with another free kick now. Rista Pawson starting to get a little bit picky with one or two of the decisions. Bitty. City substitutes warming up over on the far side there. 5.5 minutes gone in the second half. This Community Shield. Here's Grealish, edge of the area. 1-0 to Liverpool. Alexander-Arnold after 21 minutes. Delayed commentary of this game as Matip has fouled his man. Delayed commentary on the following platforms. YouTube, on these YouTube channels. TC Hub, of course. TC Hub 2, of course. JB Sports, JDAC Football, Storm FM. Those are the YouTube platforms that the TC Hub's transmitting from this season. And, of course, we're also on the TC Hub Twitch channel as well. Here's the ball played in, and it's out for a corner. And if you want to follow us on Twitter, Commentary Live 1 is our Twitter handle if you want to receive all the latest news from Russ Vernon, who gives you breaking news every single day of the week. The dedication to the job. Here comes De Bruyne's corner towards the far side, and Aki came in at the right-hand side of the 6-yard box and couldn't get any purchase there. Didn't get anything on it, actually. Good corner, had good purchase on it, but as I say, it missed everybody. Liverpool got it clear anyway. Grealish takes it inside the centre circle, and then a foul there on Rodri, so a free kick inside the centre circle, just inside the Liverpool half to Manchester City. Craig Pawson having a good game, the FIFA-approved official. On the FIFA list, of course, here's Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne back inside. And now Cancelo to Aki. But so far, so good still for Liverpool. He's still leading off that Trent Alexander-Arnold goal on 21 minutes. It's still the difference at the moment. And it's still anyone's game as we now going to what Alex Ferguson would call squeaky government time. It may be a little bit less than that. So we've still got about 35 minutes still to play. Just less than that, maybe. And of course, as you can see, the two benches there. Manchester City have actually been allocated the home one, which has actually got slightly more benches on it than what Liverpool's has, because Liverpool have been given the normal away dressing room here at the King Power. Meanwhile, here's Mo Salah. Salah towards the byline on the right-hand side. Now Henderson joins it. Back to Salah. Still on the right-hand side. Liverpool toying with Manchester City a little bit now. The FA Cup and Carabao Cup winners toying about the Premier League champions. Remember, they missed out on the league by a point. Alexander-Arnold tried to score again, this time with his left foot, which got a deflection. Balls to Liverpool on the far side this time. This is Diaz. Into Alexander-Arnold, who's just taking up a position on the left at the moment. Ball knocked forward once again. Still, Liverpool have possession. And here comes the ball in there towards Fabinho. It was Robertson again, that man. The small Scot playing the ball across, but again, good defending. And a smile there on Jurgen Klopp's face, I noticed. He's loving the style of play that Liverpool are starting to put together. It's Jordan Henderson, the Liverpool captain, charges us forward, and it's a sortie forward. And he tries to get it over the top towards Luis Diaz, but he can't be found. And that's been almost given away. Kevin De Bruyne, who's not had his best game in a City shirt. Maybe he's just feeling the effects of pre-season, maybe. Now then, Grealish, really opportunity now in the second half to express himself down the left-hand side. That's a good ball, but it's chested back coolly by Andy Robertson to Adrian. And, well, that's the first real glimpse I think we've seen of Jack Grealish as an attacking force in the entire game. And it's taken him nearly 55 minutes of play in the entire match for him to actually start doing that. Quite novel for a player of his undoubted talent. And of course, there's so many World Cup places up for grabs for Qatar that really they have to be taking advantage of him. Of course, they have to play the return Nations League fixtures, of course, which England really made a complete mockery of. 1 draw and 3 defeats in their opening 4 Nations League games, which has left them on the brink of relegation from their particular group. I can't remember the England team being relegated, but anyway, here's a chance inside the area for Jordan Henderson. Can he knock the ball back? Well, he had to. Oh, he just played it behind Salah a bit, and Grealish came in with a decent tackle. Manchester City appeared last year in the Charity Shield and lost to Leicester. Here's Firmino now for Liverpool. Now a chance here for Luis Diaz. Shot was deflected. It was a left foot try. They were trying to try the left foot, but it didn't come to anything else. Ball knocked away to Henderson, but now De Bruyne now has it. Ireland was offside, so De Bruyne had to carry on. And in the end, he ended up running out of ideas. And De Bruyne is now cutting a very frustrated little figure out there. And here's Robertson. Liverpool play with confidence. Ball played in there, but it's had to be hooked away by Cancelo, with Salah closing in on that right-hand channel. And it will be a corner for Liverpool. We've had just over 11 minutes of the second half played. And boy, has that gone so very quickly. And then we're going to see Phil Foden. We're going to see Phil Foden, and it looks to me as if it could be Alvarez, the new signing. So Manchester City going to change things about a little bit here. I think he'll let Liverpool have their corner first. Also, we're going to see another change in prospect as well for Liverpool. Looks like there's going to be a change made for them. Here's Alexander-Arnold with the corner into the area, headed out. And here's Alexander-Arnold touching the ball back to Robertson. So 2 changes for Manchester City being prepped and 1 for Liverpool. And you're going to see those substitutions now. Certainly Well, certainly it's going to be Riyad Mahrez going off for Manchester City, and Jack Grealish. Not really impressed me at all today, Jack Grealish. He's been very quiet for my liking. Shot opportunity there, a real shot window to show what his talent was, and unfortunately he didn't provide. Julian Alvarez and Phil Foden are the replacements for him and Riyad Mahrez, respectively. Number 6 can be used. 6 substitutes can play out of a possible 9 selected, and we're going to see Bobby Firmino come off, and we're going to see the first sighting of Darwin Núñez, their new replacement for Sadio Mane. 20-odd goals he has to replace, so there'll be a lot of expectation on the shoulders of him this season. Darwin Núñez on now for Liverpool. So both teams shuffling the packs a little bit, but it's like for like, for certainly for Liverpool. And I would think for Manchester City too. As Virgil van Dijk gets it back to his goalkeeper, Adrian, who boots it quite calmly, right-footed over the halfway line, headed back with the compliments from Manchester City. Rodri has it inside the centre circle. Picks out Kyle Walker. Walker trying to get the ball down, but he's held but hit that by a long way, and it's come straight into the arms of Adrian, who's made some really good quality saves. Getting a Greek opportunity here because Alisson isn't playing as a chance here now for Núñez, and a good save as it. Then look for a penalty, not going to be given. I don't think Darwin Núñez looks as if he was through, but the flag has gone up for an offside anyway. And a free kick has been awarded to Manchester City. There's still that silly ruling where you've got to play on for some 5 minutes to let the attack peter out. No doubt he's offside, but I've been gunning for the rule makers to change this ridiculous offside ruling for years. If a player's offside, put your flag up immediately. Now, the goalkeeper, in fairness, did get the ball. So there's no way, even if he was onside at that point, there would have been very little or no doubt that was not a penalty. But my verdict is on this silly thing, and I was blabbering on about it all last season. I'm going to blabber on it all this season as well. If he's offside, put the flag up, save everybody in the stadium the agony of watching an attack come to nothing. It just doesn't need to be that way. Whoever makes the rules in world football has to really look at themselves. And I think it's IFAB who make the rules for the world game, and they really have to look at themselves. David Ellery especially, really. He's one of the rule makers, of course. It really has to be looked at. Question now: make the offside flag, make the offside easy to understand. Anyway, here's Kyle Walker darting in from the back. We've had an hour here of what's been a terrific Community Shield match between the top two of last season, the Premier League champions, Manchester City, against the FA Cup and League Cup holders, Liverpool. And the ball played in there towards Salah. Just overhit him a little bit there. Salah keeps it alive, however. Plays the ball back to Fabinho. Now, Alexander-Arnold to Virgil van Dijk. Now Robertson, back to Virgil van Dijk again. And Luis Diaz knocking it back now. Joe Matip has it on halfway. Chips it out. Looking to Mr. Salah. Into the field to Jordan Henderson. Henderson chips it. Thought he might have had the shot, actually. In fact, Núñez is wearing the old shirt number of Divock Origi, who's gone now to AC Milan for next season, the current Serie A champions. And deservedly won the Scudetto. And the atmosphere now starting to build to a real crescendo here in Leicester. First Charity Shield outside of Wembley for 10 years, when Villa Park staged the last one to be played outside of Wembley Stadium. This, incidentally, are the current holders of the tournament. The Community Shield when we won it last year. Is Phil Foden again? He's one of his first touches of the ball, riding the ball out towards the far side, but the ball out of play. And it will be a throw over on the far side. So we're now into the realms of the last half an hour now. Anything can still happen. Just to remind everybody, if it ends a draw after 90 minutes, no extra time in the Community Shield. Time on the fashion, we go to a penalty shootout. 30 odd years ago, that if it was a draw, the Shield would be shared 6 months apiece between the two competing sides. But God of those days of the charity Community Shield now being shared. If they decided on penalties now at the end of any drawn games, they went outright winners, so they brought in penalties. But the first Community Shield to be played in a neutral ground was at Wembley in 1974. It was a famous game involving Liverpool, in fact. As we'll talk about that in a little bit, because Henderson's now coming forward. And here's a chance now for Nunes. Nunes through, and it's a good save. Good save from Henderson. Had to scamper out of his goal, and he did expertly well. Here go Liverpool. Here go Manchester City now with Ruben Dias over the far side. Gets it out to the near side, I should say. Here's De Bruyne. Hasn't had one of his better games. They claim a handball, Liverpool, and it's given. But Darwin Núñez, the new signing, has a real opportunity to put Liverpool 2 goals in the clear. He gets away and he tries to scoop it over Henderson, who makes a very brave save with the face, and that's a brave save from the Brazilian. Liverpool should have been 2 up. Just going back to what I was going to say, whilst Ederson is receiving treatment down there. What I was going to say, basically, 1974 was the first time they played at a neutral venue. It was the old Wembley Stadium, and it was famous for all the wrong reasons. Brian Clough's first game as Leeds. It was between Leeds and Liverpool, and it was a game really that was noted really for the double sendings off by referee Bob Matheson of Kevin Keegan and Billy Bremner for fighting. It was all started when John Giles had hit Kevin Keegan, and that's where all the nonsense started. Bill Portsmouth scored the opening goal for Liverpool, then Trevor Cherry equalised for Leeds, and then a famous penalty shootout that day when David Harvey missed a penalty, as it turned out, against Ray Clements, blasted it over the bar, and then the then Footballer of the Year, Ian Callaghan, scored the crucial penalty. There's a little bit of a history lesson of just one of the charity or community shields, that the more infamous ones that have been played over the years. So we've got about 25 minutes, maybe less than that to go. Still a breaking play. Jurgen Klopp with a big smile on his face. He's loving life today. Jurgen Klopp, he's enjoying himself, and that's what football should all be about. It's about enjoyment of the game and things like that. And this is what the Community Shield is all about. And at this stage, a word or two for our referee today. I think he's refereed it very firmly but fairly. And it's all very jovial down there, I can tell you, on the bench over on the far side between Jurgen Klopp and fourth official Darren England. Interesting that Sheffield's providing 2 of the officials. One is the fourth official and one is the referee. And so we've got, out of all the officials, Harry Leonard, one of the linesmen, has had to travel all the way from West Sussex to the Midlands today. So we wish Harry Leonard a safe journey home. So referee Pawson and Darren England are from Sheffield. Nick Hopton hasn't had to go too far down the road, just 20 miles or so from Derbyshire down south to Leicester today. And then, of course, John Brooks hails from these parts anyway. So 67 minutes gone here at the King Power Stadium. Liverpool leading by that 21st minute goal from Trent Alexander-Arnold. Ederson gets De Bruyne on his way. De Bruyne trying to thread the ball through. But again, Robertson read the danger and played the ball back to Adrian. And kicked out. Wickham, who's flicked on by Alexander Arnold. Salah away from Chancellor. I thought he got away from Chancellor, but Chancellor had done really well. Now, Rodri just lost it, but then run it back to his internal credit. Now, Ake. Nearly 68 gone. 67 and 3/4 minutes. Definitely now heading towards the 68th minute. Here's Phil Foden. Foden trying to switch the play, and De Bruyne had gone to the right-hand side now from the left. He plays a 1-2 with Kyle Walker. 68 got in this Community Shield, the 100th in all. Sponsored, of course, by McDonald's, who's been sponsored of this great occasion for 20 years. Good long-term sponsorship deal they've had with the Football Association. Ball knocked in there. Fabinho cuts it out. Haaland wins possession. That's good play. Been a little bit disappointed with Erling Haaland, but it's his first competitive game. Maybe you can allow that today. Anyway, here's a chance now for City. They're trying to run ragged at the moment because Cancelo. De Bruyne knocks the ball in, and the goalkeeper just managed to palm it out and then knock it out for a throw-in. It is a City throw, and it's going to be Foden to take it. And a little worrying moment there for goalkeeper Adrian. It's Chancellor now. Plays the ball out, and it's Bernardo Silva, left-hand side. Bernardo Silva has got Foden on the overlap, and Foden has worked a miracle to stay on side. Ball played into the area. Fabinho gets it out. Now Liverpool can launch a counter-attack now with Luis Diaz. He's got Nunes towards him, and Nunes has now run outside of him, and Luis Diaz tried to do too much there, it turns out. 69 gone. We've got a game now opening at Avengers. All of a sudden, it's now end-to-end stuff. It's almost like an FA Cup tie. This now played at a sort of a breakneck speed. City win possession. Bernardo Silva has it inside his own half. Bernardo Silva over the halfway line. Chips it forward now. And a real opportunity now. Haaland has it to De Bruyne. De Bruyne now. Looking to chip the ball in there. And a real chance for Foden. Good save. And the goalkeeper loses it. And the ball's been bundled in. But the flag is up. I think it may have been a foul in there. And the goal's not going to stand. The goalkeeper really didn't hold it. There's the official there. It might have been Nick Hopton, actually. That's Nick Hopton, not Harry Leonard. Harry Leonard's doing the near side. Oh, I tell you what, he's level. He's level, I think, Alvarez. Now, this could actually be a goal here. The flag stayed down, or the flag had gone up. There's Foden's first time, but the goalkeeper didn't hold it. Now, the second question is, did he have two hands on the ball? Now, John Brooks will be looking hard at it in the VAR at Stockley Park. Did the goalkeeper have two hands on it? Did he? And then the second question, did he actually have control of the ball? Well, Alvarez seemed to think it was a fair goal. And there's Nick Hopton. Looking puzzled as anyone else. Alvarez blindly bundled the ball in. City think they've equalised. They are checking it on VAR. Pep Guardiola thinks it should be 1-1. We are still nowhere near. We're watching the pictures, incidentally, what you're watching at home. But John Brooks has got a bank of money. And now that does look as if, they have to give, under the new VAR laws, they've got to give it in view of the attacking side, surely. This is an interesting passage of play here. While John Brooks looks all the angles. Now from the 18-yard line, I've just seen there, it looked level to me. This VAR is a grey area, but it's taken them now something like 3 minutes now to try and come up with a decision. And this is irritating everybody around the stadium. It's irritating City fans. It's irritating Liverpool fans. I mean, John Brooks has taken a heck of a long time over this, and the officials have had a really good job, and John Brooks has had a quiet game up until now. He's took his royal time here, and the goal is given! City are level! So, Alvarez has his first goal for Manchester City. My word, it took him a long time there. It took nearly 4 minutes. That is too long in my book for VAR to be checking a goal like that, but Well, there were so many incidents he won there. Maybe that's why they took so long, but VAR should be taking at least up to maybe a minute and a half to make a decision like that. I don't think the goalkeeper had, well, I don't think he had control of the ball, even if he did have two hands on it. But anyway, the goal stands. It's 1-1. But my word, that for a few minutes there, it looked as if, as Ilkwag Gundogan comes on now, we'll tell you who's replaced it in just a second or two. But my word, it frustrates everybody. Kevin De Bruyne has got off, not his best game by his own standards. And we've got another substitute on for Liverpool, which we'll tell you about in just a second. James Milner is about to come on. He's also got the captain's armband on, I noticed. So it's Trent who's going off. Trent Alexander-Arnold going off. And James Milner now taking the armband. And Jordan Henderson's the other one that's gone off. So Harvey Elliott, the second one, as well as James Milner. So there as we see Kevin De Bruyne. But it's 1-1 now. But it took 4 minutes. That is too long for VAR to start. You know, it doesn't help the tension. I mean, the crowd before the goal was in fact given, the amount of time it was taking, it was upsetting both sets of supporters. Because that leaves them on tenterhooks. And the sooner they get this VAR system working a lot more swiftly, and this can't keep happening every week in the Premier League, it has to. I like to say the VAR system we've got in place now is ridiculous. Anyway, it's 1-1 anyway. Alvarez's goal does stand after 4 minutes of VAR checks, which is absolutely ridiculous. But the upshot of it is the goal rightly stands, but it should never have taken 4 minutes to come to the decision, which was right all along. The PGMOL have really got to get their VAR officials spot on. They should not, repeat, not be taking 4 minutes to come to a decision that was ultimately correct. Anyway, Foden through the middle. Now then, can he get Alvarez in again? Alvarez just ran in a little bit, lucky for Haaland inside the penalty area. And all of a sudden, the Manchester City tails are well and truly up. Now, they might just have time on at the end as well for that 4 minutes. It was just a load of nonsense, really. Why would you want to take 4 minutes on a VAR check? I will never know. But anyway, they came to the right decision, but 4 minutes too late. Ridiculous. Because it's upset everybody. You know, there's a lot of emotion. It's a Community Shield game. You shouldn't be taking that long. Anyway, here goes Manchester City with Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva's grab, and it's on the roof of the net. As he crossed in on the right-hand side. Didn't touch anybody. It's a Liverpool goal kick, but Bernardo Silva now, the Portuguese trying to make a little bit of magic there. Didn't touch Robertson. On the roof of the net, goal kick. And, well, it's been a crazy last sort of 5 or 6 minutes here in Leicester. Here's Harvey Elliott, first touch. Elliott plays the ball forward. Here's a chance now for the cross to come in from Nunes, from Darwin Nunes, and it's a throw in. Came off a defender, and it's Milner taking it. Harvey Elliott on the ball. Hard to keep up with the so many substitutions. Remember, 9 substitutes announced, 6 can play. We'll try and keep score for you folks on substitutions. Try and tell you which is which coming on. So far, we've done a pretty decent job of things. We're inside the last quarter of an hour. There will be a decent, at least 4 minutes, maybe more of stoppage time at the end of this Community Shield game. Purely and simply, but the amount of time it took for John Brooks to say goal. It should not have taken Johnny Brooks 4 minutes to even come up with which was in the end the right decision, because under the new VAR objective, the objective is to give the advantage really as often as possible to the attacking team. Ball played in there, and City deal with that one well with Nunes lurking there. And here come Manchester City again with Alvarez, who's got his first goal now for the club, albeit in, well, not controversial circumstances, but he had to wait for 4 minutes for that. Might have felt like 4 hours to him. for 4 days. For 4 years even. From one World Cup to another. 1-1 then with 13 minutes to go. Here's Kyle Walker now for Manchester City. There will be a big chunk of stoppage time. At least 4, possibly 5 minutes at the end. And of course, we've got substitutions as well to take into account. So I'm getting 4 plus 2 maybe for the amount of substitutes. So probably we're looking at 6, maybe possibly 7 minutes. But we'll soon find out. 12 minutes to play. Manchester City 1, Liverpool 1 in this FA Community Shield, sponsored by McDonald's, the 100th Community Shield. And been an incident-packed one, that is for sure. Certainly one that will live long in the memory, whatever happens, and whoever wins it today. James Milner up against his former employers, of course. Won a championship with Manchester City, remember. Here's Harvey Elliott playing the ball back to Adrian, who's miscued his clearance, out of touch on the near side, despite Salah's best efforts to keep the ball in play. 1-1 is the score here, if you've just joined us. Alexander-Arnold on 21 minutes opening the scoring. With a deflected goal, went in off the forehead of Nathan Afghi, but the shot was on target. And then on 69 minutes, Alvarez equalising with his first goal. There was suggestions that he was offside, but quite clearly looked onside. And I thought he was onside from the first angle. Why it took John Brooks up to 4 minutes to denounce that was a goal. Really took the McVitie's biscuit for me. Anyway, 1-1 it is. And here goes Alvarez again on the break. Or rather, Bernardo Silva, rather, I should say. But the ball played forward and Milner wins possession. The captain now, standing captain, plays the ball forward. Here's Mo Salah. Now then, this man can really motor. Mo Salah into the area. Ball played in there. Should be a chance here. Oh, handball, surely. And the referee says no. Alvarez is convinced it's a penalty. And I have to say, I think he might have a case. They will check it on the VAR. Meanwhile, it's Manchester City at the other end. The ball played in there, and it's too much for Phil Foden. But John Brooks will surely have a look at that on VAR. There's the cross from Salah. Now, did it hit Diaz on the hand? Yes, he did, and he was outstretched as well. He was in a natural position. His arms was outstretched. That, to me, is a definite penalty for Liverpool. And Nunes knew it. Oh, Robert Alvarez knew it. Oh, Robert Nunes, knew it. So, a penalty will it be? John Brooks is checking. Both sets of players are surrounding referee Paulson, but I felt that was a penalty, and I thought he got that one wrong. Virgil van Dijk lending an ear to the conversation. Diaz is trying to protest his innocence here, but it's in John Brooks' hands now. Let's hope he's not going to take too long over this one. It's going to be a penalty, I think. It looks inevitable because he's going to the big screen. Now, when a referee goes to the big screen on a VAR check, this normally means one thing. He's going to reverse the decision. And that Manchester City fan knows that this is going to be a Liverpool penalty in about 30 seconds from now. This looks ominous of being a Liverpool penalty. And we've got the VAR there in operation. And now that, to me, looks a cast iron penalty. I think Nunes has got an absolute case here. The arm is definitely outstretched. There's plenty of time for him to get his arm out of the way. That is a deliberate attempt to stop the ball being threaded through. And the penalty is given. 81 and a half minutes gone. Liverpool have a penalty. And what an appeal that was from Darwin Nunes. And Mo Salah is going to take the penalty. And I don't think Manchester City, in their heart of hearts, could complain. They're still surrounding the referee, but Cancelo trying to protest his innocence. But there's no doubt about it. Ruben Diaz quite clearly had his arm out. And John Brooks was absolutely spot on there. And a yellow card as well for Cancelo for presumably complaining. That's the first yellow card of the whole game. And it's taken 82 minutes for referee Paulson to brandish the card, and it's gone to Cancelo. So, Mo Salah with the penalty. Now, this is where gamesmanship really comes into its own. Edison is trying to outwit Salah by playing mind games, but can Salah be up to the challenge? It's going to be, well, let's see what's going to happen here then. Salah's going to take a sort of a ball was run up. It's going to be a central sort of run up to the ball. Edison has to move across the line, not over the line. He has to stay on the line before the kick is taken. It's going to be left-footed. Salah shoots. It's in the right-hand corner! And Liverpool lead by 2-1. And surely now, if they hold on for whatever time remains, 7 minutes plus possibly another 7 minutes more of stoppage time, they will win the 2022 FA Community Shield. What a cool penalty. There's flares on the field. Salah with a left foot absolutely rifles it into the right-hand corner. Edison gets right, went to his left as he looked. And no chance at all for him. And that is the perfect way how to take a penalty in a high-pressure situation. And the King of Egypt living up to his name. There's no doubt about that. So Liverpool leading by 2-1. They're in front now for the second time of asking in this final, in this Community Shield match. And there's no case to answer for Manchester City. They are guilty and banged to rights. That was a clear handball. But that is, well, Craig Porter, when he looks back at that, certainly looked as if he had egg on his face. There's no doubt about that. So we've got to see Naby Keita on for Thiago. That's the latest substitution that's taken place. Thiago gave it a good reception from the Liverpool bench. And we're back underway now. We've got 6 minutes of normal time to go, but there's surely going to be another 7 minutes more after that. So Salah's penalty puts Liverpool 2-1 into the lead. And the drama and the plot thickens here in this 100th Community Shield. It's going to be memorable now, that's for sure. For so many different reasons. And 2 VAR calls that John Brooks has been involved in. Both have been right, but certainly the first one, he'll get a lot of stick, quite rightly so, because there's no doubt he should not have taken 4 minutes to decree that the Manchester City player was onside. It should have took at least 90 seconds at most for him to decree that. It took me about 30 seconds to actually come up with that theory. Anyway, 5 minutes of normal time to go. There will be a massive chunk for the 2 VAR decisions and all the substitutes. So we're maybe looking at 5, maybe 6 or 7 minutes here at the end. So we'll just have to wait and see. We will get a player in the match, of course, and I've been thinking long and hard who it might be. It's Mo Salah again. He's certainly been tremendous today for Liverpool. Certainly a candidate for player of the match, sponsored by Community Services. Here's Harvey Elliott. Elliott played it into Naby Keita. Naby Keita shoots right-footed from an acute angle to the right of the 6-yard box, and Nathan Ake had to get a block in. Liverpool now going for the jugular. They want to win this by more than the 2-1 scoreline, it sounds to me. But the travelling cop that have come down from Anfield to Leicester today have really, well, they are singing their hearts out now. The FA Cup and Carabao winners, the FA and Carabao Cup winners, look like they're going to triumph over the Premier League champions. Should the scoreline stay the same? Well, it might be more. Here's the ball played in. Header one inside the area. And it was Darwin Núñez with a header. So close to his first Liverpool goal. It was a lovely ball in from Milner. He just tricked his opponent as if he didn't exist. And then just to the right of the penalty area, penalty spot, I should say. Glancing header that was wide of the far post of Edison. Liverpool still attacking though. They're looking for more. 3 minutes plus a big chunk of stoppage time to play. Still a little bit of a way to go, even though there's 3 minutes of normal time to play. We're going to have at least 6 or 7 minutes, certainly, of stoppages. In what's been a highly memorable Community Shield game. Real curtain raiser. But there could be more now as Robertson sets up his pursuit and shoots left-footed over the top. and into the trouble he caught behind Ederson's goal for a goal kick to Manchester City. Decent hunting ground for Liverpool in recent years. They went to Leicester one year in the Premier League over Christmas in the game, really, that both Liverpool and Leicester were going well at the time in the league, and Leicester were about third, I think, at the time, and Liverpool went there and won 4-0, and then the next day City imploded at Wolves. That was at 14 points, and Liverpool had won the league even one before the COVID outbreak stopped play for 3 months. And when they came back with a vengeance in practically empty stadiums some 3 months later, Liverpool, with ease, wrapped up the title. So 2 minutes plus normal time to go. There will be, as I said, 7 minutes, possibly a stoppage time at the end. As Naby Keita now takes possession. Nunes is starting to run the end, and he's off again. Look at that. And that's he almost got Nunes through there, and would have been a lovely little pass through from Naby Keita if he had got that through. Haaland really hasn't had a quiet game, and there's a foul there on Virgil van Dijk. And a free kick to Liverpool. Right, time to pick the player of the match. Sponsored, of course, by Commentary Services. Several outstanding candidates, certainly from Liverpool's point of view, as we see Haaland there going on Virgil van Dijk. Although I think, to be fair, I think Van Dijk just makes a little meal of it there. I think he hit him that hard, and I don't think he hit him on the nose either. And we're going to see 28 Carvalho come on, and this is his debut. And what a game Luis Diaz has had. He's had a terrific game. So Carvalho will replace him. Now, the player of the match, sponsored by Commentary Services. There was a lot of candidates, but I'm going to give it to Mo Salah. I think he's had a marvellous match. He's boundless energy, and he's running down the right-hand side, and then to cap it off with a coolly taken penalty. I think you've got to give the honours to Mo Salah. He's been involved from first whistle towards the last, so he's going to be the TCF player of the match, sponsored by Commentary Services, and they will be sponsoring the Player of the Match award, supplementary award throughout the course of the season. So good old Barry Swain and his Commentary Services in action once again, sponsoring our supplementary Player of the Match award. As the ball is spread out towards the far side now. Can Bernardo Silva do something now? City need an equaliser. Try to play it in. Erling Haaland can't get there. 7 added minutes, as I thought they might be, for the ridiculous amount of time it took on the VAR for certainly the first contentious goal. That was the Manchester City equaliser. It should never have taken 4 or 5 minutes to come to that decision. 7 minutes it is. Might give Manchester City a little bit of help and a lifeline here as they go in search of an equalising goal. Foden inside or just outside the penalty area. Walker's forward. And they are asking a lot of questions, City. It will be a corner to Manchester City at the end of it all now. They haven't got time to mess about. They've got to try and proceed to the penalty area. If they can. No Kevin De Bruyne on the pitch now. They have to, if they're going to force a penalty shootout, they have to score now. Oh, it's too well hit the corner beyond Nathan Ake, but it's kept in there by the number 19. Chip forward again by him. Alvarez, and the shot comes in. There's a flag up. Haaland put the ball in the net. There's a foul in there. And the goal will not count. On Erling Haaland now. Oh, yes. There's a foul there, quite categorically, on one of the Liverpool lads. And that's why the goal does not stand. And also, Foden did not keep that in play. If he had, that would have been a wonderful finish. But alas, for that reason, and for the fact that there was a foul in the build-up, I don't think it would have been purely academic, and Haaland would not either way have got the first goal in City colours. Madrid takes the free kick over the halfway line. It goes over the heads once more, and now Harvey Elliott into Nunes, back to Nunes again, trying to trick away from Nathan Ake. Gets his chance today, and Darwin Nunes is down holding his ankle, his left ankle. He's banging the floor in perceived agony here. It's a good challenge that by Nathan Ake. It's got to be said. But He was bringing the ground in some distress there, but he's up on his feet, I'm pleased to say, Darwin Núñez, just limping a little bit. We've had 2.5 of the 7 minutes played. Liverpool get the throw in. It's James Milner with it. When they go into the quarterfinals and just waste time in the round manner, just a little bit of gamesmanship play, try and time waste within the boundaries of the rules, and just see about the victory and the Community Shield. Well, we'll soon wait and see as Jurgen Klopp with a bit of tension on his face because the game isn't won yet. Now then, it might be a chance here for Núñez. He sets up in pursuit. Out comes Edison, and he gets it out there. He was quick off his mark there, almost like Usain Bolt. Meanwhile, here come Liverpool again. They're looking to wrap this up in the grand manner. Salah now. Salah chips it in towards the far side. Robertson's header. Núñez is header. It's in the net. It's 3-1. And that's game, set and match for Liverpool. Núñez gets his first goal in Liverpool colours. And that settles any question of a doubt that Liverpool will win the 100th edition of the FA Community Shield. They celebrate with a cup. The referee, obviously, Núñez will get a booking for taking his shirt off. That's an automatic yellow card, of course. But will he care? In the words of Paul Daniels, not a lot. It's 3-1 to Liverpool. And to be fair to them, they have been the better team throughout. Here's Salah now. Just seeing the replay. Salah chipping it in. Robertson with a header back. And what a brave header inside the area. Gets there before Anderson does. And Liverpool have won again against Manchester City. In the big games, they always get the job done. They got the job done in the first half of the FA Cup semi-final back in April. And in late July, they win the Community Shield. There's no way in the time that remains that Manchester City can score 2 goals. There's a big smile. And Darwin Núñez confirmed as a yellow card recipient, quite rightly so, because under the rules you cannot take your shirt off. But will he care? Not a lot. Darwin Núñez scores the decisive third, and we've got 2 of the 7 minutes still to play. Liverpool now leading by 3-1. Salah has got off our player of the match. He's been replaced by Curtis Jones, and it's been some match today. Certainly a lot of talking points, and talking points are plenty. VAR controversies and all that type of thing. No, I wouldn't say controversies, but the controversy really being that Manchester City equaliser. The controversy being, how can it take John Brooks 4 to 5 minutes to actually judge that Manchester City were onside when that goal was scored? Alvarez was onside when he scored. It's well, it just doesn't bear thinking about. Anyway, here's Cancelo now for Manchester City. 3-1 they trail Liverpool, who have been by and large the better side. And they look, I think Núñez is going to be an absolute superstar for them this season. Who needs Sadio Mane when you've got Núñez? Darwin Núñez, that is. 1 minute of the 7 remain. Now it's just a question of dotting the I's, crossing the I's, dotting the T's, and Liverpool making sure that they hang on and just get the Community Shield. And Haaland is, it's contrived to miss, 3 yards? After Andrew had a save brilliantly from a left-footed shot from just outside the area from Phil Foden. Well, that's going to be the miss of the season at this early stage. Well, he's onside there. Oh, dear, he's hit the bar and over. That is the miss of the season, bar none. How has he missed that? Oh, that's a ridiculous miss. And he knows it. 10 seconds of stoppage time to play. Not that it would matter in the grand scheme of things, but I don't think he'll... Well, as long as he doesn't buy the goals and gaps DVD. Now, as the ball's kicked forward, the referee works at his watch. A first time still with play on. Ball had a play for a foul. He checks his watch a second time. No, that's the man who's got the goal. Darwin Núñez, that's the goal that settled the Community Shield. The referee about to put whistle to his mouth and end the game, and it's all over. Liverpool have won the Community Shield for 2022, and they add that to the FA Cup and the Carabao League Cup they've already won. 3 trophies in the calendar year for Jurgen Klopp and his all-conquering team. The league champions, the Premier League champions, have been humiliated, really. They didn't play well enough on the day. Liverpool certainly won the tactical battle for me, and certainly were, in every department, statistically, in my opinion, the better side. But it's Liverpool's day. Alexander-Arnold, Salah with a penalty, and Núñez 4 minutes into stoppage time. Alvarez with a goal on 70 minutes, putting City level. But it's Liverpool who take the FA Community Shield as the teams now shake hands at the end of what's been a very, very good competitive Community Shield. And Mo Salah, our player of the match as well. The Liverpool Cup down here from Merseyside have enjoyed every minute of it, and they'll enjoy it even more when they get the presentation in a few moments' time. The Manchester City fans, I can tell you, are now leaving in their droves. And that's really sad to see, really, because when you look at it, it is a disgusting. Stay and applaud the team as they get their mementos. There will be a presentation. I'll stay here for the presentation, but I hope you've enjoyed the delayed commentary between Liverpool and Manchester City. It's certainly been my pleasure to commentate on it, that's for sure. And there's plenty more going to be drama and suspense from our team of commentators as we bring you alternate commentaries from, as I said, not just from the Community Shield, but from the Sky Bet Championship, Premier League, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, and then, of course, not forgetting the World Cup, of course, between November and December, of course, in Qatar. So in the next sort of 12 months, we've got all the football covered here on the TC Hub for you. So there you go. So we're just waiting now on the presentation. It has been a very good game. Only 2 yellow cards brandished at the end of it all. But still, it's been an amazing game. One of the more memorable Community Shields we've seen for a good number of years. So, it's been quite an interesting afternoon. Football really down there as we will wait for the presentation to begin in earnest. We've just seen that third goal against Salah's cross towards the far side. Robertson with a lovely header and a stupid header from Darwin Núñez to make it 3-1. And he's off the mark now for the season. The Liverpool fans still over the moon, I suppose. And we'll get their mementos in a second or two. But what's the time it takes for people to... Well, I don't know who's managing this thing, but presentation now take longer and longer these days. And we're going to put a podium up, or is there a little bit of a makeshift roll box over on the far side, I wonder? But we'll find out in just a second. But the Liverpool fans are staying. The Manchester City fans, the majority of them have already gone home. A lot of empty seats away to my left-hand side. A lot of them are leaving. And that's sad to see, really, because they should really cut the team. They have given it their all, but they're just second raters on what we've seen today. But, of course, this will have no bearing on 9 months of our trial ahead for both these sides, as they'll no doubt be contending for the Premier League title. Of course, you might have to look at Chelsea and Arsenal in the mix as well. Tottenham have recruited okay as well, but Arsenal will look at their side going forward in terms of the Premier League title race. I mean, Gabriel Jesus, that's a crafty little signing there by Mikel Arteta going forward. But it's Liverpool's day. They're just waiting for the presentation. They're just doing 1 or 2 interviews at the moment, but we will bring you the presentation of the Shield. So while we're waiting for that, just remind you that we've got plenty of Championship football coming your way, and the Premier League coverage. In fact, I'll tell you a little bit about the Premier League coverage. We'll be across the Premier League, delayed and live, Championship delayed and live as well. And our first Premier League offering will be with me, actually, on Friday night. An 8 o'clock kickoff at Selhurst Park between Crystal Palace and Arsenal, and London derby to kick things off as the another top flight season. The 30th edition of the Premier League will get underway. We'll be on the air around about 7:50 Friday night. Of course, before then, we'll have some Championship action at Vicarage Road between Watford and Sheffield United as they begin their campaigns in the Sky Bet Championship. So plenty of good stuff to look forward to over the next 9 months. There's a league football on all TCO platforms, including Storm FM, JB Sports, JDAT Football, TCO itself, and of course TCO2. They're the YouTube channels, and of course TCO has its dedicated Twitch channel, which you can listen to our live and delayed commentary on as well. So what to look out for. Don't forget to check out our Twitter handle, incidentally. That's at Commentary Live 1, and the Melon Streaming app again is our streaming partner, as it was for this season, as indeed it was for last season. We're just waiting for the presentation now to take place. But I have to say, in terms of performance today, just basing it on today, Liverpool look at a more accomplished side. Tactically, they won the battle and look a really decent outfit. Certainly going forward. The presentation in just a second or two. Let's look at Haaland there. And Liverpool fans now waiting patiently for this Community Shield. I swear to God that these hesitations take longer and longer these days. UEFA were bad with their timekeeping. The FA are too far behind. The time it's taking now, and I think certainly the Manchester City players standing there, beaten side. They just want to get their mementos and just get off down the tunnel into the centre of the dressing room. Still a few Manchester City fans that are there in little few numbers, but this can't be good for anyone's psyche. Liverpool want to get their paws on the shield. And it's all quite a bit of a bloody football here, quite honestly. How he's taken them now quite a number of times now to get this podium in place, and it's, to be perfectly frank, it's quite ridiculous. I'm sure it'll all be done in the fullness of time. Worth the wait, certainly for these Liverpool supporters who have travelled down in their numbers tonight and have supported the team really well. So also the City fans deserve a little bit of credit. And Ian Rush and Mike Summery will hand out the mementos. That's the Community Shield listed in the floodlights here at the King Power Stadium. This is the first Community Shield post-COVID that's going to have a proper presentation to it. Of course, it can't be at Wembley for obvious reasons because it's the Euro 2022 final. The women tomorrow. Wish them the best of luck, of course, but it's Erling Haaland had his best day in a City shirt, but there's a long way to go, and you can't say he's a flop because he's only had one game, so you've got to give him a chance. He has put the ball. He did put the ball in the net, even though it was counted disregard for offside or disregard because the ball drifted up before Ford and then put the ball back. Top already there with the champagne. The time on the position, it should be Manchester City to get their mementos first, you'd think. Guardiola, very disappointed. Competition they do take seriously. I don't think they're going to get their mementos here. I think it's just the winners that get the mementos, which is a bit harsh, although Jürgen Klopp will be very happy now. He's just shaking the hands of the officials. He's got the bottle of bubbly out already. and absolutely loving life in front of the Liverpool fans. Pep Guardiola now maybe keeping the players out just to say, come on, this is a lesson you need to learn. You've got to lose before you can win. Certainly to the newer players that have come into Manchester City, and they're coming there for very big money, transfer fees. Klopp, a very proud man. The signings since he's been at the club have been absolutely terrific. They're doing a quick lap of honour before the presentation is made, looks like anyway. They're doing a real mini lap of honour and just appreciating the supporters for what they've done, and that's amazing. In fact, we're going to get the presentation now. The officials, Craig Pawson had a decent game all in all, although he didn't give the initial penalty, which should have been given. And the assistants as well, and everyone else. And yeah, mementos. As the flares and smoke now drift around one half of the King Power Stadium here in Leicester. A very proud manager, Jurgen Klopp. He certainly performed absolute miracles, really, in terms of managing here. And to give you an exact list of what he's won, Community Shield. It's a big trophy. He's won a lot of trophies. Now, I don't think Manchester City are going to get their mementos. They'll probably get them in the dressing room after. But Ian Rush, a hug for him. And, well, they'll get their medals now. Jordan Henderson will be at the back there. Mike Summerby will be the first to admit that Liverpool were the better side on the day and fully are deserving of the shield. Jurgen Klopp already up to the podium. Here are the backroom staff getting their medals. James Milner. Oh, he's coming to the twilight zone in his career, but the medals are flying for him now, the Leeds-born man. I think in 2003 broke in as a 16-year-old into the Leeds first team and scored on his debut. It's come a long way since then. So many Premier League titles, so many cup wins, so many League Cup wins, and so many of these. And he's won the European Cup once as well. What a career James Milner's had. Curtis Jones, another winner's medal for him. Substitute goalkeeper going through there. There's Adrian, who made some very important saves throughout the game. It's got to be said. There's the man of the moment going through there. Nunes. What a signing this two to be. And gets the seal of approval from Ian Rush, who gives him his winner's medal. And, more so, Bobby Firmino, I've just noticed. There's Trent Alexander-Arnold, the homegrown Scouser. And then Virgil van Dijk, the ever dependable, ever reliable central defender. A couple more of the substitutes in the backroom staff there. Mo Salah, who scored the penalty. And the Liverpool captain, Jordan Henderson's got the captain's armband back from James Milner. Gets his medal from Ian Rush. And now Ian Rush will now travel to where the shield is and will present Jordan Henderson with the FA Community Shield. There it is. Jordan Henderson receiving it from Ian Rush. He will now take it over to the podium. And then in just a few seconds from now, he will hold it aloft. And then the champagne and the bubbly will start flowing here at the King Power Stadium. Jordan Henderson lifts the Community Shield aloft. It's Liverpool who win the Community Shield. What a day for them. They win the Community Shield for 2022. Winners in a fine, dramatic game. The 100th edition here in Leicester by 3-1. We hope you've enjoyed the delayed coverage on the TC Hub. I hope you very much enjoyed it too. From me, JB, take care and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Goodbye.